Today, autism and neurodevelopmental differences have become the biggest source of concern for millions of families worldwide. However, the system is helpless in coping with this increase. Children and families are searching for solutions with hope. New prescriptions are being written in neurologists' offices. Different medications are being tried in psychiatrists' waiting rooms. But the result is always the same. Side effects, sleepless nights, restless days. Parents become even more exhausted, and children withdraw further into themselves. Most of the time, they hear well-intentioned but exhausting advice from those around them, like, try this, maybe it will work. But none of these methods provide a lasting solution. This silent crisis is growing worldwide, and we all know that understanding neurodiverse brains requires a much deeper, much more personal approach than medication. Every child is a universe. Trying to change them without stepping into their world only leads to our own exhaustion. Sometimes the brain pulls itself into delta. Like a ship seeking refuge in a harbor during a storm, it slows everything down. Processing, communication, connection, each of them slows down. This happens for three reasons: delta dominance, right-left asymmetry, and the epileptiform pattern. Together, these lock the brain into defense mode. In intensive care, doctors sometimes put patients into a deep sleep to protect the brain. This is similar to seeking shelter in a safe harbor during a storm. But in some children, this harboring happens naturally. The brain slows itself down not to heal, but to survive. No matter how hard we try, it doesn't make a difference with this triple lock. Attention, speech, social connection all fall behind. The foundation is not solid. We call this NeuroMist. With 32 sensitive analyses, we can see why the brain is locked. No more guessing, because we know which doors are closed. NeuroMist analyzes 32 different parameters. But the biggest 5 problems are these fundamental obstacles that cause the brain to lock up. Small electrical sparks that suddenly appear in the brain. These don't always turn into seizures, but they constantly disrupt the flow of thought, like little bits of interference. It's like the screen freezing frequently while you're watching a movie. The flow is interrupted, the story can't continue. Delta waves are the brain's sleep waves. At night while sleeping, they are restorative and beneficial. But if there are too many during the day while awake, they slow down the mind. It's like trying to walk in foggy weather. You can see, but you can't make things out clearly. Everything slows down. The two halves of the brain are like the pedals of a bicycle. One controls language and logic, while the other processes emotions and visuals. If one is too dominant, the bicycle pedals unevenly and balance is lost. That's when the flow of information stumbles. Normally, communication between brain regions works in harmony, like traffic lights. When the lights are synchronized, the flow proceeds smoothly. But when coherence is too high, it's as if the lights are always stuck on red. The regions lock up, flexibility is lost. The bridges between brain regions need to be strong. If connectivity is low, it's as if the bridges have collapsed. That's what the qEEG does. With the guidance of NeuroMap, we first balance the brain in the clinic with personalized TMS and at home with TDCS. We reduce delta, establish left-right balance, and clear out the noise. Then, step by step, we activate the attention, language, and social connection networks. The brain opens up and functions begin to grow. Sometimes the reason therapy seems ineffective is not because the person can't learn, but because the brain is locked in defense mode. Now we know where the keys are, and when these locks are opened, everything starts to function. Step by step, the locks are released, the brain becomes synchronized, and what was once closed begins to open.
We define the disorder of persistence too.
Our team is here to provide you with support and guidance throughout every stage of your treatment journey, ensuring you have the care you need.
This is what we call hope. When the locks in a child's brain are opened, it's not just the child, but the whole family is reborn.